Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, all.
The bounce is exhausted.
Bounce
pleased.
Has rounded up our first mini tour.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic, actually.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
What was your favorite show?
Are
you allowed to have favorites?
No, well, of course you can have favorites, but I don't actually have one. I don't have one. I liked the Dublin energy the most.
Yeah.
Because we could I think it was just...
I think it's because you could see everyone. It was... The way it was set up, it was a small crowd and you could
talk to everyone and
see everyone. So it just felt like you could tell the energy in the room.
Yeah, it was quite warm. Like it felt warmer.
Yeah. Whereas London was amazing, but you couldn't
even see.
You couldn't see the crowd really. So it makes a huge difference actually. But I also enjoyed that.
I loved it. I think Manchester was the funniest.
Yeah, for sure.
Manchester was the funniest.
I think for sure.
Audience was really warm and really funny.
And I think they interacted the most.
Yes.
I quite enjoyed that.
And London was the spiciest, of course,
yeah,
by far.
Always.
And the biggest, which was nice.
Yeah, I can't, like yesterday I was just like, I couldn't sleep for some reason. I ended up sleeping at like 6 o'clock. So I was just like, it's crazy that people actually pay to come out and hear us cackling. I find it very fascinating, but pleasing. Yeah. Very pleasing. Thank you to all and sundry.
Yeah, thank you to everyone. It was fantastic.
Who came.
It was really cool.
A lovely experience. Hope you had a good time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it was really, really nice. I can't lie. It was pretty... I don't know. I won't use the word difficult, but like organizing things on different ends.
Yeah, it was, I think, enlightening.
Yes, that's the word to use. It was enlightening, but it was nice. It was nice. It was just really nice to see people.
Yeah, you learn a lot along the way, and then as you move on, you'll do. So I think next time or next year, it'll be quite a different experience, not necessarily for people, but for us in terms of planning or whatever.
Yeah, it was very, really good. I'm very, very happy. I'm pleased. Mostly.
Yeah.
I'm mostly pleased.
Also kind of relieved.
Because it's done, but...
Yeah. And there was no catastrophe or anything like that. No. Yeah.
I think we just learned a lot from previous mistakes. Like there's just a lot of naivety when you're starting off. And it makes a huge difference when you feel like you know more. So you're able to mitigate. You mitigate faster. So even small things like we never eat before shows, either nerves or just time, making sure that there's something to eat right after, pacing yourself, knowing what time things come on and off, being very specific in your requests. I mean, we even just learned like more. Debbie and I were just talking about it. There's like some stuff that we now know that we're like, next time. But that's all very back end. Front facing is always fun. Like audience is always like, oh, we loved it. Blah, 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 blah.
They don't really pick up on the same things that we are like. But I guess that is with anyone doing anything. But I think the thing for me about the naivety is a lot of times when I find myself like in a position where I'm like, okay, you're learning this and next time it'll be better. I just feel like, okay, but at this point, should I still be like at this, do you know what I mean? At this stage of learning, it feels like, okay, obviously this is only our second time doing a London show and doing it this way. This is really the first time. But it just feels like our 7 years in, like we should have learned. Do you know what I mean?
There's no template.
I find that in like even just other business life as well, that sometimes I'm like, I understand naivety and learning, but I find myself feeling like, okay, but why didn't you do this before? Even though there's really no way.
Yeah, there's no template.
Unless you get there, there's no way to know.
Also, there's a lot of assumption.
Yep.
Yeah, and a lot of I don't know if the word is and this is with anything in general. When you're good at something or passively good, you don't even have to be great at it, you're passively good at something. You make a lot of assumptions about the opportunities or options you have.
For sure.
So, like I'll be frank, when we were planning, I just assumed a lot of stuff would be so much easier.
Yeah.
Because of all the work we've done before. But that's not true. It just isn't true. And it was very painful. You know how people talk about when, everybody talks about it in a very specific way. This whole thing of what you deserve and your worth and stuff. And it can be a big slap in the face to realize that maybe
is it that knows your worth?
Maybe I overestimated myself in certain ways. It can be very, very humbling as well. Also, you realize that a lot of stuff is smoke and mirrors.
A lot. So what I think one of the biggest things is there's a lot of winging it involved.
In everything.
Just across the board.
In everything.
Just across the board. And so I think part of the challenge is when you're trying to plan it out specifically, and then you realize everyone is kind of winging it. And so half of your frustration is that you didn't want to wing it, but like that's just the nature of the game.
The process as well. I think so that, and this is not even just specifically to the live show. This is with everything. Like I'm learning. So there are people or businesses that I've had interactions with, and my assumption was that the nuts and bolts of what they're doing is like very complex,
dynamic, and everything is like all these well-oiled machine, all these things people say.
No, but it's just about figuring stuff out. And then also being able to roll with the punches. What else did I learn? I learned really that like there's a certain type of humility that will put you in trouble, which is a very weird thing to say.
What do you mean?
So, and it's also, and this is about looking at things from the outside.
Right.
So I see FK and I think, I'd like to work with FK, but I don't think I'm on FK's not level.
Not level, but just like you assume maybe because of how something might look that you're not. It might not work out for us to work together.
It's not. It doesn't seem like it's something that's likely. And so I come to you very like cap in hand, and I realized that sort of humility is actually, depending on the context, is really not in your best interest at all.
Right.
At all. Like it's not every time shoot up. It's okay to shoot level. No, genuinely, it's not every time. Everybody says, just shoot for the stars. You never know where you might land. Know where you're landing and be fine with it, because I've had maybe 2-3 experiences in the last couple of weeks that I was like, this was unnecessary. And this was because of how I approached the entire situation. And it didn't need to end. It was just like slightly disappointing. But part of it was, but I started saying, but Yusuf, how did we get here? Like, he didn't need to get to this. Sorry, guys, we're talking in circles, but genuinely, like, it's a learning curve in business as well. And it's funny because we've told people before to collaborate with your mates, to work with people that very often they understand where you're coming from. There's something about going to people cap in hand out of excitement and chopping nothing but embarrassment.
Yeah.
I think there's been a lot of humbling experiences, not in a big way, but it's just that while you're working and you're doing things on a bigger scale, you just learn that, okay, I had this assumption and it didn't serve me in this situation. Okay, you just roll with the punches really quickly. That has been very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. What else? Asking for help and I'm very bad at asking for discounts, asking for help. Really, really bad at it. I think a part of me has just always thought of it as unprofessional. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially in a professional setting. Just like, why should we? If you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. Why are you
asking for
asking? And I've realized that a lot more people are more willing and open to
it's a cliche, but that whole closed mouth don't get fed. Like, if you open your mouth and talk, the worst that can happen is no. It's extremely true, and it's extremely somehow to act out in person.
Yeah, but that has been the best surprising. That has been one of the best surprises. It's really nice also working with friends who are operating at a high level.
Yeah,
like, we went to the Kai office for the first time. Went to Fisayo's office, and I'm so proud of her. Yeah,
I'm so impressed.
I'm so proud of her. Like, it's just nice.
Also, we looked fantabulous.
Yeah, we did.
Normal.
It was fantastic. And then my makeup was done by Ayo, Slade by Mix.
Mine was done by Ronti.
It's
Ronti anyway. Phenomenal.
And Chrissy did my hair. Chrissy Bill did my hair. What else? Zeda did your styling.
She did.
And Lila styled me.
She also did my styling for Dublin.
So Lila styled me for all 3 shows. And it was just really, really cool to work with your friends and see how they are. So I have this thing I'm learning. It's made my life easier. So sometimes people ask me about stuff with carousel, for instance, because that's the most obvious thing at the moment. And the only way to explain it is I don't hire or work with people I don't believe in.
Right.
So when people are asking me about my look, I said I went to Lila. Like I think I can dress pretty well. But I knew that I wanted to look
a certain
way. And so I went to Lila. I was like, oh Lila, what do you think? And she puts... So it wasn't clothes. Because I like the clothes. I picked the clothes. But
just
putting the look together. And then I went to Christabel. I was like, oh, Chrissy, London. She was like, oh, what are you thinking? I said, if I had thoughts, I won't come and meet you. You are the professional. No, genuinely.
You know, like, what we should do.
So I'm not going to tell you too much.
Yeah.
I'm not shy. I don't do like avant-garde hair or anything like that. So it's up to you. But even with Debbie, with our social media management, I have ideas. I have broad ideas. But in terms of execution, I'm learning people to... Yes, you know, there's a lot of stuff. I've been reading stuff recently about the type something founder, and I find it so amusing. I think there's a type of well-oiled machine you can't get if you fool yourself that it's your way or the highway. Some things, yes, manage, but I'm learning so much in like you find good people to the level you can afford and you allow them to do their thing.
Do that. I think that it took me quite a while to learn that because I did a different thing, which honestly I think is wrong. And it is like in my normal factory business, we're now changing a lot of the team because of this fundamental error where because I am like that in the sense of there's a lot of things. Obviously, I went to school, I have one degree, but it's not really what is relevant in what I'm using. A lot of that is like, not even self-taught, but just learned along the way. And when I say not self-taught, I mean, it's not as if it was just vibes, like online courses, books, or whatever, that kind of thing. And so I was very much a hire people who like seem to get it and they will learn the skills along the way.
Okay.
I'm wrong. I'm actually very wrong. You actually have to hire people who know what they're doing from jump. And then they can figure out like...
And then they can also design the process that allows...
They can figure out...
That allows you to hire people who are smart and can learn. But you can't start it off.
Exactly. And I think that leaving... I mean, we've been here for like 2 weeks. Leaving for this long has made me realize I'm actually... You know how they say people are helicopter mothers? I'm actually a helicopter boss or founder because there are a lot of days where I have just like stepped back and watched and I'm like, they can't operate
without you.
Yeah, but it's not a good... It's not
a cute thing.
It's not a cute thing. It's not like, oh my God,
no. To be happy about.
I'm embarrassed because I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is...
Especially when it's stuff that is just so low level that you should
honestly,
be able...
there's no high level decision making involved in the day to day. It's just what you do. Honestly, if you run any kind of manufacturing, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Unless there's a problem, it's the same thing you're doing on a day to day basis. So for me, it's like, oh wow, I haven't designed this in such a way where people can actually operate with agency. And that is because of the first thing where if you don't hire people you trust, they can't operate with agency.
Yeah.
Because you don't trust them.
Because you don't trust them. So you don't want to leave any room for error at all.
So very interesting stuff.
Yeah. I think that's been pretty much it. But sorry, we sound serious, but we've had a really good time.
Yeah.
I was very, very anxious about some of my decision making because I pushed for a lot of things. And there's some things that regret is a strong word. I'm like, maybe we shouldn't have done that. But I think it's gone really, really well.
You also live and learn. It's one of those ones where it's like, okay.
We've also done
wrong decisions, but like
it's
in
done
the grand
well.
Scheme, right?
Yeah, it's done really, really
sort
well.
Of keep it moving.
Yeah, and now I feel like I can breathe a little bit.
Yeah, I also think in the sense that one is always harder on themselves than like how... So I remember yesterday someone was asking me this and that, and I was saying, from the stage, I couldn't tell, but like these were the moments where I was like, I wish like maybe this was there. And they were like, I promise you, there was no way I could have known in the audience that any of this was like not what it was meant to be. It was just like, oh, cool, interesting. And I was like asking for feedback, and she was just like, "It's really not that type of thing."
We got really good feedback.
Yeah, she was like, "Look, I mean, if you want me to like go into nitpicking, sure, but I had a good she was like, the overall feedback is, do I feel like my money was well spent? Yes. Did I have a good time? Yes. Finish. Would I come again? Yes." She's like, all the rest, you might kill yourself going into.
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you go to that there's no? Like, I wish they could have done this.
Yeah. But you live and you learn. It was very, very good. I'm very, very happy. What else did we? You are going home really quickly.
Oh, you're going home very soon. It sounds strange. This is the first time I've ever looked forward to leaving London.
Really?
In my life.
Really?
There's, as in my whole life since even when you were young, that you tie denim jackets on your waist as a youth coming into London for holiday. When it was time to go home, tears, just wailing and gnashing of teeth. I was just so upset every time. Even when I travel, there's no time in my recent life memory that I've ever been like, I want to go back to a nonsense country. And I know that when I get there, I'll regret it deeply, because what's even happening there, I'm not sure. There's no fuel in my car, number one. And so that's going to be a trip. Yeah, but I just feel like I have so much that I need to do that it's time to wrap it up. Also, if you don't have plenty money, there's a way you can enjoy this place.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to being able to relax, even though already in like carousel group chats, Odun was like, hey, we have work. I said, fuck. But it's not on the same level. It's not like urgent, pressing, immediate. It's just some stuff that feels better. That's
the only thing I am like maybe a bit regretful of about this trip. I didn't rest for 1 second. I didn't rest for one. Even like when I could, I just didn't. And then I'm jumping straight into a non-restful period.
I'll work back.
When I get back as well. So it's just work, social calendar. There's so many. I have like 4 weddings this month.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't realize.
In September?
I'm telling you.
Who's getting married?
I just realized that people are marrying, and I'm attending their wedding.
Yeah.
So just like, there's just a lot. So that's weekends. Yeah, you're not resting. Work, plenty. Social, plenty. And like all good fun and whatever, but
it's still stuff.
The point is, I'm not doing there's no peace. And I've been telling, so whenever my staff messages me that, this one, I'm like, I haven't taken leave, quote unquote, this year, in the sense that even when I've traveled, there's no time you have tried to reach me that I've said I'm not working. And so I was like, I'm on leave. And they were like, huh? And I was like, the truth is, I don't even think that last time I took, I'm not, even the leave that I said I'm on, I'm lying.
Yeah, you had to. It's just, like I said, it's learning. Even going back, like with work, I'm going to have to change some of our structure. Like just figuring some stuff out in multiple ways. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having a bit more fun and enjoying myself and doing things that I actually want to do and hanging out with people outside of work or needing a favor or trying to figure something out for a show or something I'm writing, etc. Very exciting. Anyway, let's do some dilemmas. All right, boys and girls, this fantastic episode of I Said What I Said is brought to you by AfriChange.
AfriChange is the easiest way to send money across Africa and internationally everywhere.
There are very low fees, no processing time, if any, very tiny, and you get loyalty points the more you use.
Yes. If you are in Nigeria, you can pay your bills in Canada. You can send money to Canada.
Exactly.
You can also pay your school fees in Canada directly from Nigeria in Naira. If you are in Canada, you can send money to many, many countries all over the world.
All right, guys, so get to supporting people who support us. Enjoy AfriChange and enjoy the rest of the episode.
That is africhange.com.
So our first dilemma is from someone who calls themselves Sunk Cost. It says, hope you girls are well and taking care of yourselves after the back-to-back live episodes. I hate myself, and not in a hate myself kind of way. It's just I feel really stuck in all the areas of my life, and it feels like every year I get these realizations that I find myself in the same position the very next year. Everyone around me is either getting married, getting a promotion, or going on vacation, and just enjoying themselves. Meanwhile, I feel like I'm stuck at the beginning of my career and love life. I get these episodes and try to work hard not to find myself in the same situation the next year. But always, little and big wins I don't have. I just seem like I'm existing. I'm 30 and the first child, and I feel like I failed. I changed jobs at the start of the year mainly because I wanted to feel good about myself and not get complacent. Inside this horrible economy, my salary has been missing for the last 4 months. Sometimes I feel like I don't know myself. And I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm in God, but FK and Jolla, I'm really, really tired. Deep down, I've given up and just smiled to keep up appearances. I try to work on the debt I'm in, and whenever I look at my finances, it doesn't seem like I've moved anywhere. I'm quite self-aware, and anytime I start feeling this down, I don't want it to get too bad, I visit my friends. Yes, they're my friends, but I sometimes feel like I'm the only one having constant bad luck. And this isn't a situation where comparison is the thief of joy. What do I do?
So the challenge is, there are a couple of specific things you mentioned, but I feel like overall it's a funk because, okay, your salary being delayed is horrible, obviously. But like, that's not you failing. That's something that's happening to you that is making your life miserable. The other stuff as well, the truth is that, I don't know. I don't think that I have any thing about, do this. I feel like once you get, and I have very recently been in this, even still now, not, in terms of the podcast, just in general, where you just feel like, I don't know if life is going in the direction that I would like. And it is a hard thing to overcome because a lot of times it doesn't feel like there is a specific thing that you can do. And for me, it's just, how do you get how do you get yourself mentally out of this funk before you can even think of what should I do?
Yeah, next.
Yeah, because once you feel like I don't like myself and my life, for me, that I don't know that there's anything you can do action-wise to change that unless you first change. I don't get me wrong, it's not as if I'm saying that I know the answer, but if you don't actually get yourself out of that mental thing first, it's very, very, very tough. And the only way I have found, really, because I'm not, people will tell you to meditate, do all these things. I'm not very good at all those ones. So me, the last time this happened, I'm probably in the next couple of weeks, I just booked 3 sessions with a therapist. Should be a professional. Come and explain to me what is going on or whatever. And in the midst of that, things start to come out. But I don't actually know any other way. Unless you have something that so I don't have anything that is when I do this, my mind frees up or whatever. There's a lot of people that, okay, maybe to clear their head, they go for a run or, they do XYZ or they journal. I found that none of those things are particularly they don't get me to a point of answer except talking to somebody and not just my friends or whatever. Talking to someone who's not just saying, oh, bele, that can help me. So that's really the only. My thing is, I think it's a shit place to be in, so I'm sorry. But I also think that the focus is not necessarily what you can do. Even stuff with my finances are shit at the moment as well. Even stuff with that. Honestly, with a terrible mindset, it is very, very difficult to actually
get out of it.
To actually change anything and feel like any of the actions you're taking makes sense. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think there's also this thing of, you're the first child, so you're supposed to. Well, supposed to doesn't really mean much, in the grand scheme of things. You can't have that extra pressure, considering the fact that you're actually trying. It's not like you are just a daydreamer.
Yeah.
You're actually trying. It's just unfortunate that at the moment there's a ton of odds. It feels like odds are stacked against you. It's not that you are going out of your way to do nothing and yet hope for the best. You're working, but it's just at this point in time. And you actually have to start thinking about it like that. At this point in time, not start adding all these, drawing all these weird threads and making it about how you have a miserable or a horrible life. I don't think that that's the way to look at it at all. 4 months in without a salary would genuinely mentally fuck with anybody.
It doesn't even matter. I don't think it even matters how much your salary is. Just the fact that something that you need. Like 4 months is, one, you can form understanding.
Mm-hmm.
2 is like pushing. 4 is...
I have an invoice that's been withheld for a month.
Yeah.
And I'm so annoyed. Like, I can't explain to you how much it's like baffling me, because I did. So what I even did was I asked them to allow me finish the work first before sending in the invoice. And then I sent in the invoice after doing all the work, and it's delayed. And I can't explain to you how frustrated I am. But that's...
So I have a similar thing where basically a payment was meant to come in and the payment is delayed. And the thing is that it's worse because as someone running a business and understanding that mental things can happen, I actually understand what's on their side. I fully understand what the problem they're having is. And whilst, I mean, technically it's not my business, I get what's happening. But the problem is the like runoff effect that it is having
on your own business.
I can't pay for any other thing because everything was tied to this payment. So everything is just like cascading, and it's not even up to 2 months and I'm running mad. So if it's 4...
Yeah. I do think fake me time. Maybe you need to talk to someone. And I'm sure you're thinking, but I just told you guys I don't have money. So,
yeah. I mean, to be honest, again, it just depends on how... I don't know. So you don't have money, and that's very, very valid. There's some free services. They might not... I don't know the quality of them. They might not be as great, but like they exist. And I think that this is the wonderful thing about the internet. You can start from there and like work your way up. But I just think that you just need something to try and move yourself out of a position. Mentally. And I think that like movement supports movement. So if you do a little bit, momentum starts to build on your side. I don't think it's very easy, especially if you feel, because most of the time when this kind of stuff is happening, you feel alone in it. I was having a conversation 2 nights ago and I was basically saying a similar thing. And the person got it, but also didn't get it because they were like, okay, but this is happening and this is happening. And I don't know for sure. I was like, it's not about that. It's not about that. It's like a fundamental, like deeper thing. It's not about stuff. And again, this person is my friend. They love me. So they were doing their best. What I now realize, actually, I can't put this pressure on you to be the one to help me figure this out. And so I was just like, actually, do you know what? I'm very sorry for like dumping all this. Like, this is not, this is actually a professional work. And so this is not. And they were like, no, you can't talk. I was like, no, I'm happy to share, but like, please don't feel under pressure to like come up with
a solution.
With a solution, because 2 of us are here discussing the matter and we actually don't, like, we don't know what the next step is. And I think that's fine. So, that's basically it.
Well, okay, up next we have this person who calls themselves Jollz Wigs Are Fire. They are. I do have a mad collection of wigs. Hi, Jolla and FK. Thank you so much for this podcast. I listen to you guys on my drive to work to take my mind off stress. Love you so much. My dilemma isn't spicy. I just want to get the community's thoughts. A problem shared is kinikon. That's not how the saying goes, but you guys get what I mean. What are your thoughts on doing an entire wedding ceremony abroad, like the traditional and white wedding? My siblings and I have lived abroad for many years, 10 plus years for each of us. We all schooled in the US for uni and have since gotten jobs and built our lives here in the US. One of my sisters recently got engaged and she's thinking of doing everything, traditional and white, abroad. Some of her reasons are because she thinks she'll get more value for her money with the vendors abroad. We came home for a family ceremony about a year ago and it was not the best experience given the amount of money spent traveling and hosting the event in Nigeria. Even back then, it was really difficult to manage costs because prices were increasing at an alarming rate. And with all the money paid for food and crowd control, everything still finished, food especially. We blame the issues with the vendors on where my family lives in Nigeria and just the general economy and inflation. Our parents don't live in a major city, so there are also not a lot of great services like decent event halls and hotels for guests coming from abroad and other big cities in Nigeria. I know it's really up to the family to decide, but is it really a big deal if the entire wedding is done abroad? We also have a lot of family abroad that might find it more convenient than traveling back to Nigeria. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing your wedding abroad.
Again, you do the one that works for you. Do you know what I mean? And I think the only thing maybe with you doing your whole wedding abroad is obviously you've mentioned that a lot of your close family or whatever nuclear family, what they call it, is in America, they said, is abroad. The only issue is maybe whichever family you have in Nigeria who may not be able to come. But honestly, with these things, more and more and more as we go on and as you see kind of the stress of what people have to go through, the solution is to do the one that works for you and your family. The important people need to be there. That is all.
Yeah.
If other people that you would love to come might not be able to come, and like that's just how that plays out. So I honestly think that there's nothing. I mean, I know many people who have done their triad. That's where they live.
Yeah.
The truth is where you live. It's where you live.
You do it where it works
for a lot of people, doing it in Lagos is a destination because like they're the ones having to go there, blah, blah, blah. So if your family is already in America, do it where is most convenient for your family and your spouse's family. Finish. Those are the considerations that you have to make. Obviously, you want to try and accommodate everybody else and whatnot, but I just think that you have to do things that work for you ultimately in life. Yeah. I don't think there's any other way to look at that.
I think you absolutely should do. I don't even think it's I think you should do it abroad. I really do think you should. I think if your parents are coming, and his parents...
That's where you live.
His parents
You've already said you feel like you can get better value for money.
You have enough relatives that it doesn't feel
weird. If you know how to make it work there, then
I really think you should. If you still feel a way about it, you and your siblings can agree the next Christmas or the next holiday you're all in Lagos, you can
do something. Yeah.
You can host
but not like a wedding.
Not a wedding, no. Like
you do something.
Yeah,
for
your
people,
husband will do too much.
Yeah, you'll celebrate for people that maybe you guys will do
canopy
or something.
Yes. And no, everybody would not, it's not even like, it's when they get there that you'll find out that, actually it's the bride and groom that hosted this
say
lunch.
You're doing Thanksgiving reception.
Yes, Thanksgiving reception or something. I think we had a similar dilemma at the live show in London where someone was complaining about wedding costs. And, I find it really interesting how much pressure people find themselves under to go with convention that doesn't serve them in any way. And the convention is not real. So let me give you an example of what I think. If you said, do you guys think if you said you don't want to do traditional wedding, we can't even have a more long...
because it's like, should you do it?
Should you do it? Should you not do it? This is not even real convention.
This is a question of, should I do it where it's actually more convenient for me and my family?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think you should back your sister.
I think
you should ginger her and be like, look,
I think you should ginger her.
It'll be very nice. We'll have all these
people. I even understand, parents are always, they're
paying though.
But like at the end of the day, this is what is going to work better for you. This is what's not going to put you under financial pressure. This is what you're happier with and you seem less stressed. But especially, it'll be different if like you didn't have a bad experience that is like a reference point. So you already said actually you went for one thing before and it didn't turn out the way you wanted. So honestly, I think you're fine.
Yeah,
I think you're
100%.
fine. I think it's just you are naturally worried about maybe people that it may be slightly inconvenienced for. But I don't think you and your sister, your sister should not be inconvenienced herself on account of all these other people. She's the main person in the... You are the main people in the wedding. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, good luck to you and your sister.
Yeah.
So guys, if you are looking for a low-risk investment you can trust, please have no fears in trying treasury bills, which you can get on Bamboo, Nigerian treasury bills to be specific. So for as low as 10,000 Naira, you can get 18% returns, which is a great idea for those of you who are thinking that, I'm not yet sure of how to put my money or where to put my money. I'm a bit iffy about some of the stuff that I don't really understand. It's pretty simple. You can do your Googles and get taking control of your future. All right, guys, back to the episode.
Up next, we have a friend indeed who says, my friend wears fake yash. I've made a new friend recently. We're both in our early to mid-20s, but I'm a few years older than her. She's Nigerian, but has lived in the UK for the past few years. The first couple of times we met up, I noticed she had an unusually shaped bum. It seemed to look oval around the sides, and I thought it was weird to have hips on your actual bum cheeks. My best friend, who's not friends with her, also noticed, asking me why she wore a fake BBL ass. And I said it had to be real because of how bad and outrageous it looked. Surely she wouldn't intentionally do it to herself. Something like that would have to be an insecurity you're born with and can't do anything about, right? Wrong! One day we're out and I go to give her a hug and put my arms around her waist and I could feel what appeared to be a waist trainer from her waist down. And that's when she confirmed it. What's jarring to me is she wears it all the time, even when she's chilling at mine. I was once at her yard and she just woke up, so she didn't have it on. And that was the first time I saw her real bum. And I thought it looked good enough, but it was a decent size. But very quickly, she went to use the bathroom and came out with her lopsided bum. On another occasion, we had been trying on clothes for an event, and the dress she bought was one of those IG body dresses that were cut out and practically... Hey, I've lost it. I'm practically naked. And that means you couldn't wear underwear with it. I asked that she took off her shorts after she tried it on, but she refused and said she'd buy skin-colored shorts when she wore it. Trust me, you can't wear shorts with this dress on. But she would rather look weird with shorts on than go without her yash pad. It's also really bad as the band of the shorts are pretty tight, which is why it felt like she had a waist trainer on. My dilemma is, should I just shut up my mouth? Like I said, she's a new friend of a few months, and I don't know if we're close enough for me to say something to her. She has other friends she's closer to, and I'm assuming they haven't told her it looks bad or obvious, or she wouldn't continue wearing it, right? I'm a bit embarrassed when we're all out in public, but I don't know if it's my place to say anything. That's it, pretty much.
This is so interesting.
Yeah.
What? Again, there's no context for this because this is not what you asked us, but this is just my own. I'm just so curious about especially I'm curious about if she thinks it looks good or if it's like, I don't mind if it doesn't look good as long as it's different from what I have.
And insecurities are weird.
Insecurities are crazy because they actually like confuse you from what is reality.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the question of should you say something? I mean, I would.
It's the way.
I think it's the way you say it. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to now make her feel judged. Because I feel like everybody understands not being happy with your body.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to make her feel like, you don't want to go in being like, you look stupid, because it's clearly a deep insecurity. If it's to the point where like you want to buy an outfit that you know you can't wear anything under, and like you're so conscious of how your body looks, like even inside your house, just with like your random friend, you can't be free, even if outside you wear all these things. And so I think that you have to find a very gentle way to have the conversation. And not even necessarily to say, I don't think this looks good, but to ask that, like, because what I would want to know is what is inside this thing? Like, as in, have you, thought it through? Especially because it doesn't actually do the thing that you want it to do. So you end up not looking nice, and then nobody's telling you that actually it's very obvious, A, that you're wearing this thing, and B, it doesn't actually end up looking nice.
Mm-hmm.
And because the truth is you can't convince someone that, oh, but your natural bum is nice, whatever. I feel like that ship has sailed for her. So I don't know. I think you can say something. It's just the way.
Yes. I had an insecurity, and a friend of mine noticed something, and the way she asked the question was so sweet. She just asked, like, oh, like, do you feel uncomfortable XYZ? And I said, oh, yeah, and we spoke about it. And she was slightly encouraging, but I could tell that she had clearly thought about it for a long time before. She didn't just blurt it out. She was like, oh, Jollz, is this something that you worry about? Because I've noticed that you do ABC. And I said, oh, yeah. And I explained. And she was just very understanding. She still tried to let me know that she didn't belittle it, which was nice. But she was still like, I don't think you have to put yourself under this type of pressure. And this is why. And it was really nice. Like, it actually helped. It helped a lot. But I think, again, like I said, it's tone and it's how. Because it seems crazy to you, but trust me, to her, she can't see what you're seeing at all.
No.
She can't see what you're seeing at all. Do you know what it is to not be able to chill? Like, with your
honestly,
friends?
I feel like she's gotten to a point where like she hates.
She's convinced
she doesn't
herself
like
that her body is
all.
not nice at all. And even in like a casual setting, like she can't chill.
Because for me, it's different if like, it's when you go outside. When other people are looking
like
at you.
Daily.
This is like it. But like if it's every day, as in inside the house, then that is how you know that, okay, this is probably a deep-rooted insecurity for her. And I think that the quickest way to ruin you people's friendship is to go in.
Friendship.
Yeah, is to go in on like a...
You look so stupid. What's this on your body?
Not even that. No. Or, babe, you look so nice. Like, why? You don't need this, but because you have to understand that she doesn't that's not where she is, and that's not where she's coming from. So I think the asking approach of like, trying to get her to open up about what the nature of the insecurity is or how it started or whatever is the thing. And then also even being like, okay, that's even all well and good, but this particular solution is not the one, because half of the problem is obviously the root cause. The other half of the problem is that the solution she has chosen is not working. So if it was a solution that was working, you can even start from there. But the challenge is that she's actually attracting probably more attention to herself and her ass.
And as far as she's concerned, as people are looking at her, she can't tell the difference between a and a stare. So she's just probably happy with it. Yeah. Anyway, the point is that you should go gently into that conversation.
So. I think you have to like ease into it. Otherwise, Kasala can bust and everything will be somehow.
Okay, last one is from FK's chief bridesmaid, who says, "Hi, Jollz and FK. I love you so much and I wish I could have attended the Dublin show.
Oh.
Anyway, my friends didn't attend my traditional wedding that was in my village, even after I offered to hire a car that would pick them up from their houses to my village. Fast forward to now that I'm about to do my white wedding. They are really excited, planning this and that, but deep down, I really don't want them as my bridesmaids. What do I do that won't seem somehow?"
I think it's weird if you've like tried to like arrange it to be easier for the person.
They didn't want to come to the village. So I think the only somehow, I don't know, sometimes my friends have hurt my feelings in a way that because I haven't spoken about what hurt my feelings, I transfer. So I don't know if that's what you're doing. So let me give you an example. I'll be very upset if my friends didn't want to come to the village.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to exclude them from like that part. Because it's nice having your friends at the white wedding. So you have to have that awkward conversation. Be somehow. And be like, you guys, it's somehow that even after all my offering, didn't come. And now that we're having an aesthetically pleasing wedding, that's when you guys now want to turn up.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what I think.
Because the challenge is that you still want your friends at your wedding. Like at the end of the day, them not coming doesn't solve the core problem, because now you've had 2 weddings that your friends were not at. But you also don't want to let it go.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to, but at the very least,
I think you have to address it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to say, it's somehow that when I wanted to have a wedding in the village, I don't like the fact that you guys didn't come. I know someone that happened to. She had a traditional wedding and everybody just was forming really, really busy because nobody wanted to go to her village at the time. And she didn't say anything about it, but her energy was off around her
I guess
white
the question
wedding.
is for you. How would you say to someone, I don't feel comfortable coming to your village? It's better you, but
it's better. Do you know, again, everybody is different. It would have been better if you had said that to me.
Yeah, then you're busy.
Than just forming all sorts of activity and not saying straight up that, babe, you won't vex, so I don't want to go. So that we could have had that fight. Sure, because sometimes there's something about, I don't know about other people, but I'll be honest. One thing I've noticed that we all use, and I'll use all because I know it is, using awkward silences to say what we don't want to say. So if I say, I'm busy, I don't expect Fekemi to say, is it because it's in the village you don't want to come?
Right.
And we just all ignore and move on. If Fekemi then says, is it because in the village you don't want to come? Shame will not allow me.
A conversation.
Yes, even better yet, like as a good friend, of course I don't want to come to the village. Yeah. Like how many friends are excited to go to the, let's be real. But the point is that by the time she says, is it because you don't want to come to the village? Shame will now make me say, no, I'll move things around and come. Do you understand? So they copped out and you gave them the easy cop out. And now you feel away.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say, a lot of people are excited about a lot of things, but I think the older I get, the more I realize just how much of friendship is being like, whoa, 2 days, we're going for 2 days and we're coming back. I don't want to hear my daddy said we should stay for another. No.
Like a lot of the inconvenience is, okay, listen, So I think even with that kind of situation, obviously this is like late, so it's already happened, is an approach of, you guys, I don't know if you want to come to the village, but like ultimately this is where my wedding is happening. So sorry about it too, but these are then the things. And I think she did make that effort to try and make it easier for them to come.
If you really feel bad about it,
and I think that's fair.
If you really feel bad about it, and you actually don't want them to be your bridesmaids, again, the same way they didn't want to come to the village.
But what I don't want to happen is that in your current feeling, you make that decision and then you regret it later. So I think that maybe try saying, like, I'm really upset about
it really
this.
pained
Like,
me that you guys
this thing is
did.
paining me. I'm finding it somehow and I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
Like, you've actually hurt my feelings, and I don't, to the point where, like, I don't actually want you to come to the wedding that you want to come to. And I think that if they are your friends and whatever, their response will tell you all the things that you need to know.
But a lot of us don't know how to react well to being told off. That's just the truth.
For sure.
And I think that might be your fear. So you want to fight with your friends, but you don't want to fight to the level that most people... We're just not good at being told off. Like, I remember... something that's really helped me with my mom, for instance, is just... she doesn't like when my face changes when she tells me off. And I've told her, but I don't know. This is not a process I enjoy. So I don't understand why you're talking about it. Like, it's a natural reaction. I want to believe I'm perfect.
not going to smile.
I'm not going to smile during this correction.
So it doesn't mean that, like, I'm not hearing what you're saying. Yeah. But, like...
This is not a fun experience for me.
Oh, nobody's happy about this.
I remember one time my dad was like, oh, is that why you hide yourself? I said, yes, because I'm embarrassed. Like, I don't understand what you think this is. Are you supposed to pretend? And I said, hey, so what are we going to eat?
Like, you guys, this is a natural
reaction.
Somebody tells you off, you're going to hide and wallow in your stupidity. Then later when everybody's okay, you come out. And you're not supposed to ask me about it. You're supposed to know that this was happening.
Yeah. So I do think that those are your options. I just don't want, like Vikemi said, we don't want you to be so salty about what happened that you're not saying, as a matter of fact, I'm not doing bridesmaids.
Yeah, and then, because if there's a way you will make that kind of decision and, like, announce it, and then you can't then have the conversation after that. You've actually done your finishing move already. And then there's some people that just won't make the effort to, like, come back to you. I don't know, because there's a way that you might feel like, I didn't realize this was the situation, and then all of a sudden, it might feel like you're overreacting, even though I don't think you are.
No.
So, I just think the best thing is have it in mind, though, and then say, see, this is how annoyed I am. And then if you get like, oh, I'm really sorry, blah, blah, blah. No P. If you get like, there was no way I was coming to the village, you know how people react, and then that will tell you, like, okay, no problem now. Shabi, you don't want to be in the wedding. Let's not be in the wedding. I just feel like that's
better. That's
one
a better
of those
approach.
Things.
But don't be passive aggressive about it.
And just, I don't know, me, I've always been a person to, like, for people that are like your real friends, you try to overextend. And for me, that's just the nature of the game. You put it in your pocket because, especially for people's weddings or whatever, hopefully it is a one-time, very significant event in their lives, and how you show up matters is the truth of the matter. People will always remember how people showed up for them in these kinds of moments. That is the truth. Whether you want to say it or you don't want to say it, people always remember. And it is a relevant thing. So I remember it was one of my friend's weddings I couldn't go for like reasons that were very personal to me, which I didn't say on time. Very valid thing. And I think that the challenge was, if I had said it, it would have been fine. I think the ruckus was that I didn't actually say it on time. So it just looked like I, who show up for everything all the time,
chose just not to show up for
chose this most important thing and didn't show up. And then it didn't, like, say anything about it, which I thought would even be the thing that would let you know that actually this is probably a big deal that is going on. But, in the end, I consider that actually, okay, fine. Maybe I should have just said earlier on that, I don't think I'm in the mental space to be able to do all these things. And that would have been the end of that. So it was only like recently that we had an answer. I was just like, do you know that one message would have started this thing?
So why didn't she message you as well, though?
It was her wedding.
I understand.
It was her wedding.
No, I understand.
Yeah. I'm
not arguing, but so this is the thing, like, if you do something out of character, even though it's my wedding, I'm still salty though. Do you understand what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been, so, and this is one of those things.
I think her response to the saltiness was not saying anything.
Yeah. I think the older, maybe, but then again, we were younger.
We were younger, yeah.
But I think now that I'm getting older, sometimes I've realized, like, the movies are online when You know when there's a scene where you're just like, oh, this could have been solved in one conversation. That's real life. People who don't have those conversations, they'd rather not have those conversations. It's not just the plot. People really won't have those conversations because in my mind, if something is kind of out of character for a person, I understand that this is my big event, so I shouldn't have to come and say, guy, how far?
But if you're my friend, I'm going to say...
Yeah, if you're my friend, at the very least... I'm going
to message you and say, okay.
So, how far? And it's not even in a passive aggressive way.
It's not even a fighting thing. It's just literally like, how far? Please, I want to know what's happening here.
Yeah. I think that's something that I'm learning, Cha. It's hard. It's really, really hard as well because nobody wants to seem embarrassing or like they're being over the top, just in general. But yeah, I find these things... Being an adult is weird because in some ways you're still very childish. You're still really, really childish.
It's extremely childish and there's so many moments for embarrassment. Yeah. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really crazy.
Hey y'all. Hi guys.
How you doing?
So MTN has something fantastic for you guys.
Haji.
Yes. If you're someone that loves like streaming, like heavy duty.
4K.
Yeah, like you're a gamer.
HD.
You like watching all your like shows.
People are testing internet speed.
Yes. You listen to the podcast and you don't want to be
you don't want to be seeing things circling around on your screen.
Yes.
You want everything to load up and move quickly. Then what you need is MTN's 5G router.
Yes, you can get up to 1 gigabyte per second.
That is 111.
Boom. And you can play games, you can stream, you can do whatever you want. Like. But we personally suggest that you use it to listen to the greatest podcast on the planet.
And it moves super quickly. Yeah. Once you just do it like this, bam, you're in.
Yeah. Where can they find
you can get it at any MTN store or on the website.
shop.mtn.ng.
Yes.
Happy streaming, happy listening, happy playing,
happy 5G,
happy watching, happy MTN. God bless Nigeria.
Bye.
Bye.
But yeah, so many people are sending wedding-related dilemmas now. And you guys, good luck to you. Oh my gosh, you guys, something really cute happened at this live show yesterday. So a guy came last year with his, at the time, girlfriend and got up. We all thought he was... And he started a speech that was along the lines of what we thought was the proposal.
Yeah, I thought he was about to propose.
Only for him to end up asking us to sing happy birthday. We were like, you know what? Fine.
Piss off.
We sang the birthday. But we told the babe that, this guy is not a serious person.
This guy is not serious. Like, Auntie People's big age. He came to this show for us to say happy birthday. Anyway, yesterday at the London show, he then informed us that he has found sense and he has indeed proposed.
It was very, very cute.
It was very cute. I really enjoyed
and they
that.
Invited us, he's the one who invited us to his wedding.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
And they were very cute. I spoke to them yesterday.
I really enjoyed it.
Very sweet. And they listen. Like, first of all, obviously, a match made in heaven. Because they both listen to the podcast.
If you have two people like that, you get along fabulously. Yeah.
So that was really, really nice. And then a mother and daughter were at the show as well. Very nice. And she didn't tell us that her mommy was there. We were
saying rubbish. And there was a guy who, like, the last show we had spoken about his marriage ending. Or him thinking his marriage was ending. And he came and said, oh, he's okay.
That it has ended and he feels better.
And here he is again.
Yeah, which was really, really cool. Yeah. All those, being an adult is...
Man, somehow.
Really something.
Hey.
It's really, really something. Life will just be doing its own. You're still trying your best. But life stays moving in a crazy direction. Is there anything else? This episode is coming out this Wednesday.
Okay, perfect.
It's coming out this Wednesday.
Is there anything else? What that happened? Or like, just to say?
Just to say.
I'm not sure. I think I find it, okay, let me tell you something that I am not struggling with, but I'm like, it's September.
Mm-hmm.
We're like in the ember months.
Mm-hmm.
The year has finished.
No, it hasn't.
No, I know. Mm-hmm. But like, it feels like all the time that, it feels like, all those, like when you say, this is my year of breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
The breakthrough is remaining 2 months. So what is going on? It very much feels like, first of all, this year went in a flash.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember New Year's, like it was 3 weeks ago, number one. Number two, I'm feeling very time pressured, not like in general for the year, to like turn it around. That's what I'm feeling. That is the pressure that, like, I woke up today.
In what?
I feel like that's why I was not sleeping yesterday, because I was just like, hey, see the dates. This is 9th September.
Mm-hmm.
What is left again?
A lot, Fekemi.
Is it?
Yes. Yes.
2 weeks now will be in Christmas. Do you know advent calendars are out?
I know. But do you know what I'm starting to think about? Maybe this is a function of like doing business with Odun. She doesn't leave too much room to dream. I don't mean that in a bad way. She's obviously...
What do you mean?
Odun is big on doing things.
Right.
Like getting stuff done and failing fast so that we can figure out
the failing fast.
What the mistake
tough times.
What the mistake was, or what the process, what we're getting wrong really is. Even Debbie, she doesn't waste a lot of time in like, I'm always so big on it would be so nice for us to do this. And Debbie will just be like, but we can't, but this is what we can do. And I'm learning very quickly to think in that way, because what has wasted a lot of my time is the big dream. I've spent so much time thinking about like the 1,200 capacity. I said what I said, that I don't get started on the 200 one. I'm just annoyed. I'm so offended at the idea that the whole me
we're doing
should start at what level? Yuck. I guess so. I'm telling you, it's why like my gym kidney is so... What do you mean I worked out for 2 weeks and I've lost half a kg? Are you joking? I can gain weight faster than this. So why don't we do what I'm good at? I think just generally, even with relationships, I want to speed up the process of it being really, really good.
Yeah.
And so I avoid like the uncomfortable conversations. Yep. I avoid other parts in the hopes that
everything will just settle.
2 or 3 grand gestures
later
will push us towards it. And it's just being around people who are just a bit more... I don't want to use the word pragmatic, but understand like...
But it's pragmatic. This is pragmatic.
Yeah. Because pragmatic always makes it sound like you're giving up really quickly. But it's not that. It's just they are very, very quick to be like, but this is not feasible. Like if it was up to me, because we couldn't... my dream was to be able to say, we're doing like a tour. So we're doing these cities in the UK, we're doing Canada, we're doing America. And it would make me feel... And Odun was just like, okay, but this is what we can do. Do you understand what I mean? And I realized that because if it was up to that means we won't have done anything till next year. Genuinely. And all I would have been doing is explaining up and down.
I am the same.
I'd have just been explaining.
So okay with it.
Yeah, I'd have been really... No,
I wouldn't even have explained anything. I wouldn't be
I wouldn't have been okay. So on the inside...
I understand perfectly.
On the inside, I'd have still been annoyed. Because when it got to the end of the year, I'll be like, yeah, but we're 7 now and we can't figure out how to do... Do you see what I mean? Even though technically, like, there's still growth. I would have been annoyed if the growth wasn't exponential.
For sure.
Do you understand what I mean? It's like how I don't count. I've actually lost it, but I don't count it because it's not big.
It's just
one small thing. Yeah. So I don't count
it. My jeans are a bit loose.
Cool. No, cool, whatever. Yeah. Do you understand what I mean? And I find that to be very, very... It's why I take, like, time frame so hard. Imagine if we get to December, if we came in and all me and you are still talking about is how, so next year the tour, and we didn't do anything this year. We would have felt a way. Yeah. Maybe shame won't allow us now say it, but we'll definitely have felt a way. So I'm learning that in a lot of ways. A lot of ways. That's actually kind of shocking to me. But I'm learning that in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think honestly getting things done is so... this is so serious. But like...
Life is serious. Life is sure as hell serious.
So, as you guys know, I love to listen to rich people's podcasts that don't concern me in any way, shape, or form. You know when people are talking about, like, there's only so much you can do with $10 million?
Is that what you think about?
No. It was literally a thing said.
No, I know.
I closed it. No, because I realized that actually this thing that I'm doing...
It's not helping you.
It's actually not helping me. When he said that, I was so offended. I closed it. I said, You even said 10.
Not
if you give
1.
me 500k now, you'll be too shocked at the things that... You won't believe that that's the money that has come in. It will look as if 5 million has arrived.
Yeah.
Because the manner in which... I said, even 100k, try me. I said, when he said there's only so much you can do, like in New York City with $10 million... I said, please, I don't want us to deceive ourselves. Because this number is so insane.
There's too much that can be done.
Crazy.
There's too much that can be done.
So the other person on the podcast, funny enough, was like, huh? So they were like, guy, I'm sorry. Like, I want us to actually be serious here. So it was funny to me because they were like, please, I'm not part of this. Anyway, I ended it there. But the thing that was very interesting to me is that they were talking about high agency people.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were trying to figure out how this guy is like, I think he's 37. And he's basically, for all intents and purposes, he has retired.
Mm-hmm.
And he has sold not one. You know when things happen the one time, you feel like, luck of the draw. He has sold not one, not two, but 3 different types of businesses, different industries, and made big money
on
every
each
time.
one, yeah.
Not that he has not done anything in the middle that casted. He has 2 other businesses that failed completely woefully. But like for someone at that age to have 3 hits, like business hits that he got it right 3 times and he sold and the money, and he was just like, now he just he literally wrote a book about hosting a cocktail party, like the best way. So he's just like on many side quests in his life. Anyway, they were asking him what he thinks is the thing, and he was like, honestly, the thing he thinks is like for him and people he has seen, the like direct line to success is just being a high agency person. And they were talking about this essay that one guy called Paul Graham, he does YC, wrote called Relentlessly Resourceful. The funny thing is I've read this thing like 5 times that year. So I just said, you know what, let me go and read it again. And what he was just explaining was that, like, this is a business concept, but I think it applies to life. That in YC, obviously everyone has a great idea, but it's like 3 months. And he's like, all the people that they knew would be crazy successful, Dropbox, Airbnb, the only difference was how high agency they were, how resourceful, and how much shit they got done, like on a day-to-day basis. How much they were just like, okay, we need to get this cup over there. Okay, we don't have the money, blah, blah, blah. You stand, let me stand on your back. Let's be going. And he was like, honestly, it's not about money, strategy. It's just about, see, what is, as we are, the best way to get to this place and doing it. Like, not just like finding a way, not being embarrassed, not. So the guy, he was saying that like there was one time he sent out 350 cold emails about something. He only got 1 like positive response, which followed through. And that was the thing that set everything apart. But he was like, the truth is most people are not sending out 350 messages.
1,000,000%.
It took him like a month. But he was like, most people are not doing that. Because by the time we've gotten the 100th,
no, it's very embarrassing.
And he was like, see, he's not even trying to be funny. It is not for like sitting down and being like, no, we have to find a partner for this thing. Otherwise, this business cannot work.
Yeah. I did. I mean, even just getting this show done, I got so... And it's so weird what we think is embarrassing because the emails were coming just to me. I didn't even
Nobody can see it.
I didn't even see Fake Me or Debbie or... It was just me or Do. It was just me. But I took the no. In fact, I even preferred the no. The one that I felt like my email just sauntered into the ether, I was like, wow. And I sent like maybe 30 or 40. And we needed only 1.
Yeah. And so like, honestly, they just started saying it. They were like people who are just willing to like move, do, who like are okay with like, so they were describing this thing about high agency, like you're okay to like have a different opinion on something and like stand by it. You're also okay to be told like what you're saying is rubbish. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. Thank you so much. That's fine. You're also like, you don't tight things to your chest.
That's hard.
Like, okay, this thing did not click.
Okay, I see what they mean.
Keeping it like, because he was like in service to getting something done. You can't actually be holding on to like he was like in a business context. Okay, it didn't work now. Not even the whole business. Like, you know how like maybe you have a launch or whatever. He's like, okay, that's today's problem. Should be the business has to continue tomorrow. Let's do another thing.
Yep,
It was all these things they were describing. And I was just like, I'm lazy as hell. Not in a self-deprecating way. Seriously. I said, God, I think about all these things. I don't do them because I'm just like, what if?
Yeah, the embarrassment of it not working out.
I'm like, this is public. I don't like the idea. But he is just like, now it's so funny because everyone is like, oh, multiple successes, blah, 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 this one now. And then he brought out an article about himself in one of his businesses that failed that said, this person was not the reason that this business failed, but he certainly did not help it. And he was like, nobody remembers that thing. But for him, if you ask him about his business journey, that's the thing that pained him the most. Whereas everybody's like, oh, you did well. So he's like, ultimately, if you stack all these things up, like in the end, it's fine. And I was just like, I consider myself to be a very resourceful person. I realized today I'm not too. No. And you know when you have to be honest with yourself, like you're not actually doing enough to be forming, this is what I deserve, like I'm doing the best I can. When you come to the conclusion that you're not doing the best you can, it's very humbling. Because you're like, what I'm doing is not even good. Forget good enough. I'm certainly not doing the best I can. And I feel like if I was, then I'd be able to rest easy and be like, I did the best I can, X, Y, Z, whatever. I'm actually not even doing the best I can, number one. I'm not even doing the best other people can. There's no best involved. And so it's very awkward to like come to the realization. And that's why I think this end of the year piece, especially because I'm like, hey, now I have to start doing the best that I can.
I think there's a way for you to, but you're not going to like it.
No, I don't like it at all.
I think you should choose it like it's just a smaller thing.
It sounds terrible.
Because your obsession with big things is always upsetting you. Genuinely, I've been your friend for how long? You have to choose a smaller part of the big thing.
I hate small things.
I know, but it really gets you super down. Even because the problem is you achieve small things within the big thing.
I don't care.
But you don't care. Because your only thing is, but I didn't do this big thing that can make a big announcement. But it doesn't end up working. I really wish it did, but it doesn't end up working like that. Like it took us 7 years to get to this point.
Yep.
And if we didn't think of this when we started, but if we had, we'd be very disappointed now.
Yeah, we would.
Because it would like, why did it take us so long to get this done? But I think that's the only way. And you do that when you do it well, and then you use that as a launch pad and you learn from all the other stuff. There's just no other way. I've tried cheating myself and it ends in deep tears and deep disappointment.
Yep.
But that's the only way. This is the high agency episode. Guy, what are we going to do between now and December? That's going to make us feel good about ourselves.
Because I'm just like, I don't want this year to just end in like I hated the way last year ended. I felt like, what a nasty and disgusting time period. Let 2024 come, let's hear what. And I don't want to go. I don't want to go out like that. I do not want to go out like that. I want to go out on a high of like, even if it's not high of life, feeling like, okay, you know what? I tried my best.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah, I'm just like, I just want to be like pleased with the situation. And the truth is, unfortunately, that just means you have to get up and do things.
Yeah. And
highly unfortunate.
Yeah. So anyway, guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for every single one of you. Every single one.
I know we laugh a lot, but we take you people very seriously.
Very seriously. It's been fantastic.
It has been. Thank you for not disgracing us and coming out. We hope you had a great time.
In Dublin, in Manchester, in London.
We did.
Yeah.
And yes.
Don't worry, we're working on other things. Like you just heard us. We're actually working.
No, now we're up and grateful. We're up and very grateful. There'll be other things while coming. I saw a comment that killed me. She said, please, I can't remember how she phrased it. I don't want you to forget that Lagos is the house on which this thing is built.
So, that was very funny. Lagos, you can never now.
Lagos, chill out please, now. Please, you guys should not behave like that. You know now.
If anybody should be crying, it's Ghana and Abuja. Ghana. Those guys ride so hard for us.
Every time I see them talking, I just cover my eye like,
Accra has suffered in our hands.
I said, so sorry, dears.
We're doing our... Funny thing is, Eki and I are coming to Accra, but not for work.
Not for work, to play, actually. Severe playing. So, we'll be there for that.
We'll be there for fun.
If you see us, good luck.
Yeah.
No, Lagos, you don't have anything to worry about. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
All right, guys, you know what to do. Again, thank you to Spotify.
Yes, for allowing us to record.
Right here. We're recording at the
lovely studio.
Spotify studios in London. Yes. I think if you have, so there are particular countries where you can watch
you can watch it on a video on Spotify.
Hey guys, nice to see you. And for the rest of you guys who don't have access to that yet, please make sure you leave comments.
Yes.
Tell Spotify they are so cute and we want them to be our boyfriend. Whatever.
I I don't know, but
Sure. All right, guys. See you next week. Enjoy.
Bye. Hello, boys and girls.
No hello.
Okay.
No hello for them.
Okay.
This is not for
boys and girls only.
Boys and girls. I want to ask you a simple question.
Very simple.
Why are 40-something% of you that watch this thing not subscribed?
Very good.
Is it fair?
Very good.
Is it
other
good?
people's channels that you don't listen to every week, you subscribe to them?
Free
Look at what we
content.
do for you.
Do you pay? You come here, we make fools of ourselves every week.
Having a great time. Subscribe early. I don't understand it.
Why would you do that?
Is it right?
No. In case you don't know, no. It's not right. Okay? So now, you see that button. Nobody will beat you. Okay, do you know what? You can even cover.
Do it in a shy,
do it in a shy
mysterious way.
So nobody will.
Just, oh my God.
Click on the subscribe.
Oh my God.
That's all. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.